sport utility vehicles are some of the most popular automobiles on the road, perfect for families and commuters. Buying one can be a life-defining moment. Not every SUV is created equal, however. Some have reputations to fail at the worst time, while others just aren't equipped to really be called SUVs.
If you are in the market for a new or used car, make sure to go through this list to avoid buying a car that could potentially be a lemon or unsafe for you and your family. Here is the list of the worst SUVs of all time. 1. Range Rover Discovery. Launched originally in 1989, the Land Rover Discovery is part of a mid-size series, coming from the Land Rover Manufacturing Company. Though the Discovery initially had a lot of traction, sales of the Land Rover model have started to decrease in the past few years. Although it may look tough, it is expensive to maintain and generally unreliable. 2. ACU or AZDX. Produced and marketed as a mid-size luxury crossover. From the automotive company Acura, the ZDX blurs the lines between a sedan, SUV, and coupe, which can explain the ZDX's unique look. This combination of inspiration caused audiences to formulate mixed ideas on what to expect from the ZDX, and that confusion showed in the sales of the vehicle. Its production time ran from 2009 to 2013, and in that 4-year span just over 5,000 units were sold. 3. Jeep Wrangler. Mileage are shocked at just how bad it is. Once they hit the road, many even bring it to a mechanic to see what's wrong. Owners of the model have taken to Wrangler Forum online to discuss gas mileage, with many of them wondering what's wrong with their vehicle because it's that bad. 4. Lincoln NKT, the second largest SUV produced and marketed by Ford Motor Company. The Lincoln NKT is a full-size luxury crossover SUV sandwiched between the Lincoln MKX and Lincoln Navigator. It ran production for a span of 9 years between 2010 to 2019, though it sold under 30,000 units in that time frame. Lincoln originally made it to compete with the Acura NDX, Audi Q7, and Mercedes-Benz R-Class, though those models performed better than the MKT. 5. Infiniti QX56. The Infiniti QX56 was a full-size luxury SUV that was designed as a performance competitor. Infiniti decided after 2013 that they would rename the QX56 to the QX80. The names of the SUVs come from the engine displacement. And as the name would go, the X56 came with a standard 5.6-liter, sadly, being a non-upgraded version of a non-luxury vehicle spelled doom for the Infiniti QX56. 6. Dodge Durango. Based on the Dodge Dakota, the Dodge Durango is a mid-size SUV that was originally marketed as a large truck-based SUV that was capable of holding up to 7 passengers, and over time, Dodge molded out the image to something softer and not nearly as rugged. Dodge ended up having to recall and fix tens of thousands of Durangos due to a defect that may have caused the airbags not to deploy in a collision. 7. Jeep Renegade, an off-road subcompact crossover SUV produced by Jeep. The Jeep Renegade, which was launched to the public in 2014, has seen a decrease in sales in the last few years. Sold globally, the Renegade was meant as an option to buyers who wanted a smaller and more affordable entry-level Jeep with some of the same features and a similar appearance to the Jeep Wrangler. At the time, it was designed to replace the Jeep Compass and Jeep Patriot. 8. The Volvo XC90. XC90 is a mid-size luxury SUV. Going into its second generation, it has been around since 2002 after being shown as a concept car in 2001. Labeled as a practical SUV, if you plan on driving around your pets or children, then the Volvo could be a potential option. On the other hand, if you have a desire to drive around a clunky gas guzzler, then this SUV takes the cake. 9. Dodge Journey. The Dodge Journey is a mid-size crossover SUV manufactured under the FCA company. Though it was intended to be an entirely new model and different from the other vehicles on Dodge's lineup, it isn't much different from the Dodge Durango. In 2014, Fiat decided to go a different route with its models and launched the Journey Crossroad. Sales for the Dodge Journey have fluctuated since 2007 and have been on a downward trend since. 10. Mercedes-Benz GLA. Considered a sports car SUV, the Mercedes-Benz GLA was initially designed to compete with the BMW X1 and the Audi Q3. The car's body is based on a Nissan QX30 and outside of some label changes, the SUVs are almost identical to one another. To market the GLA, Mercedes-Benz partnered with Nintendo and created an ad that showed Mario driving one of the GLA letters on television while the marketing was creative. Sales for the GLA models have been stagnant for the past few years without much increase or improvement. 11. Lexus LX570. A full-size luxury SUV based on the Toyota Land Cruiser SUV. The Lexus LX570 is basically an exact replica of the Land Cruiser with the Lexus logo on the front of it. The LX in the name of the car stands for luxury crossover. And while there are a few minor tweaks to the LX line, there aren't any glaring features that help it stand out against other luxury SUVs in its class. Sales for the Lexus LX570 have fluctuated since 2007, but the automaker has never sold more than 8,000 units in 1 year. 12. Lamborghini LM002. A four-door sport SUV. The Lamborghini LM002 was the first SUV pickup designed by the luxury sports car brand, based on its looks and usability. It's clear that they took some risks with the design and build of the LM002. Since 1986, when the Lamborghini LM002 was first produced, only 328 have been made, dubbed the Rambo Lambo. This SUV proves that not all luxury sport SUVs are made equal and not all are wanted or needed. 13. Hyundai Santa Fe. The first SUV released by the manufacturer Hyundai, the Santa Fe is a mid-size crossover SUV that has been in production since 2000. Since then, the Santa Fe has gone through 4 generations and is currently on its 4th generation, which is expected to run from 2018 to 2024. With a lack of options for buyers and little changes from generation to generation as well as long time spans before any upgrades are made, Santa Fe sales have lessened over the years. 14. Chevrolet Trailblazer. Eventually replaced by the Chevrolet Traverse in 2009, the Chevrolet Trailblazer used to be the face of mid-size SUVs for the Chevrolet car brand. From 2001 to 2008, while production in the US ended, it is still being produced in other parts of the world including some parts of Asia and Brazil. The Chevrolet Trailblazer ranked low in rollover safety after being tested thoroughly, and annual sales have dropped dramatically since 2001, when it was first launched. 15. Range Rover Evoque. The Range Rover Evoque is a subcompact luxury crossover SUV manufactured by Jaguar Land Rover since 2011, with new models still made and available today. Initially, the Evoque was offered to buyers in a 3- or 5-door model and allowed the buyers the option to choose between 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive. In 2015, Land Rover had to recall over 60 cars due to a defect that would unlatch the car doors without notifying the driver. 16. Bentley Bentayga. A full-size, 5-door luxury SUV. The Bentley Bentayga makes the mark as Bentley's first SUV. The name Bentayga comes from Highland Rocks in the Canary Islands and the world's largest snow forest. Buyers were given the option to buy the Bentayga as a diesel, a V8, or a hybrid, though Bentley prides itself on the luxury experience over the performance of their vehicles. In 2018, Bentley released a more aggressive Bentayga body style as well as a coupe version.
If you're new here, hit the subscribe button so you make sure to never miss my weekly videos.